Welcome to another live stream of D4H. I'm GP, Customer Experience Specialist at D4H. It's a special day today because we are going to be going over some key features that we launched in the last quarter. You will also hear from our awesome product team who developed these fantastic features. Towards the end of the live stream, we will also go over the features that you can expect in D4H in the upcoming months. Before we get stuck in, I just want to let you know what D4H is. We are a comprehensive emergency management software company. Our software is designed to streamline complex processes, making emergency management more efficient and effective. The beauty is that it's all in the cloud, which allows your response teams to plan, coordinate, and review afterwards what's happening in an operation. In terms of our users, we cater to a wider variety of customers from airlines, hospitals, emergency management companies, law enforcement agencies, and search and rescue teams. I want to emphasize that this live stream is completely live, and the recorded video will be uploaded to the YouTube page of D4H later on. And if you're watching the live stream live, you're able to comment and ask questions. In the background, we have our amazing Amy, who will bring up your comments in front of us that are coming directly from YouTube, LinkedIn, X, and Facebook, wherever you're picking up this live stream. Without further ado, please allow me to bring up our live stream contributors today.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
So I get started with the introduction. So I'm Mario, and probably you've seen me again in some previous stream. And I'm the CTO of D4H. And today, actually, I'm here with a few members of my team that probably some of them is the first time you're seeing on the screen. So I'll let them introduce themselves. Some of them have worked on some of the features that we are going to discuss today. Some other engineers couldn't join us, but it's great to have them on board today so we can have a nice chat and discuss a little bit what we've been working on in the last 2 quarters, which has been quite exciting. Probably if you've seen already the newsletter, or if you follow our Beamer, our announcements, our notifications about new features on the web, you've seen that we've been quite busy in the first half of this year. So anyway, I'll let the other guys introduce themselves. Please go. I guess, Álvaro, you can start.
Hey, I'm Álvaro. I work on the TM side of things, both front end, back end, everywhere. I'm from Madrid, Spain. It's great to be here.
Great. Abel. You're on mute, Abel.
Sorry, I'm new on this. So I am Abel. I'm part of the incident management product team. I've been focusing on building alert in the last months, so I hope you enjoy. And welcome for joining.
Go, Thierry.
Hi all, I am an engineer of product operations, so we basically make sure that the servers run fine and that there's no outages, and everything goes fast. I'm joining from Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a bit more than that, right, Thierry? Than just
yeah. That's the quick couple words pitch. Yes, but there's a lot more involved in this in terms of performance monitoring, observability, responding to any failures, and automation and all of that.
Yeah, so we'll be talking about that a little bit later in the stream. Great. Welcome everyone. Anyway, and I think we can get started unless there are some early questions from our viewers. No. Yeah. All right. So first thing that we want to talk about is one of the major features, or let's say product in D4H since quite a while. It's not that frequent that we create things completely from scratch, because it requires a lot of effort, a lot of requirement gathering, a lot of resources. But here we go. This year, we actually have released this new product, which is part of the OC Operations Center platform. And the new product is alerting. So alerting allows you to actually send messages to your team through different channels. A lot of people, a lot of our customers have required this functionality from D4H, and so far we had really basic functionality. But now we have a fully functioning product that's been released just at the end of the second quarter. So we have a first version that if people want to try, they can already talk to sales and have a needs assessment. So great. So let's see an overview more or less of what this new product is about. So first of all, as I said, it allows you to send messages across different channels. At the moment, we support emails, text, and calls. More will come later, most notably push notifications, which are currently in the make, but we will have other channels as well. Probably there has been talks about including WhatsApp or other messaging platforms. We will see. It depends on the feedback we receive from customers. So we have implemented. We have the ability to select, create different urgency levels. The urgency level will automatically select for you the channels that you want to use to send the message. So this is so you don't, when you're creating a new alert, you don't have to think what channels you have to use. You just select the urgency level, and that automatically selects the channels for you. So let's say informational message, you might want to send it only by email, right? If you have something more critical, you might want to use all channels as SMSs and phone calls to make sure that the message reaches your team, right? So this is all part of our effort to make sure that our products are super easy to use. And we really try to put a lot of effort, into these little details that some users might think that they're just details, but everything adds up to make sure that the product is easy to use. And we spend a lot of time in iterating and making sure, that our product is super simple to use. This custom urgency level is just an example of this effort to make sure that our products are simple to use. Then, of course, you can select, you can send alerts by targeting a specific group of people that you can predefine. As well, you can include on-call personnel from Team Manager, which is quite handy. And of course, you have the ability to collect responses from the contacts that you are sending the message to. So you might want to know what's the ETA, for example. Well, at the moment, actually, we don't support just free text response. We just support the ability to select a predefined option. So let's say I'm responding, I'm not responding, I'm available and not available, or you can add as many options as you want, really. And then everything is audited, so you can see at what time each message has been sent, at what time a person has replied. And as I said, we have a few other things coming soon. One is adding more channels. Other one is very important, actually, having the ability to have message templates, so that you don't need to think twice about the message. You just have to fill in a few missing pieces in the message, and the message is being created for you. So this is an overview of what's available today, essentially in alerting, and it has been in the making for quite some time. Well, not just the implementation itself, but also collecting all the requirements, listening to our customers, just to make sure that we make it just right and it's as simple as possible and as effective as possible for our customers. So Abel has been working on this for as the main leader, tech lead, and so Abel, what do you think was the major challenge, let's say, and about working on this on alerting, and what probably are even more what's probably the feature that you're most proud of?
Yeah, so I think the main challenge is building the product from the very beginning, right? So and this is where your feedback is actually very important, or customer feedback, because it will drive the direction of the features and how they are built, and what will be part of the product in the future. I think one of the most interesting thing for me is the ability to send the alert and get the feedback straight away, in real time, in the web page, where you can see all people replying in real time and attending or not attending, and get that ease of use from the UI straight away in real time.
Great. Yeah, I think that's a something really nice, and which is then is a feature of the entire operations center platform, right? The ability to see changes live, and people don't appreciate the complexity that goes behind that small feature that now people give for granted. But besides the fact that it's very useful, it's also quite complex technically to achieve. And alerting is implementing this live refresh, let's say, of changes as the rest of the operations center platform. So as soon as someone replies, you can see the reply appearing straight away on your screen, and it's something almost like feels magic. But it's beautiful to see how fast it is and how straightforward it is. It just works. So yeah, fantastic. Thanks, Abel. Yeah, Abel will be busy for quite some time actually implementing what's coming on alerting, and we have some quite exciting features. Again, you have the ability to give feedback and influence what's next for this new product, which is just out, as I said, and available as a first version. So
Mario, we have a question from the audience. Gareth, they want to know what type of tone are we going to have. I think it's pretty much going to be device dependent. If it's an SMS, it's going to be using the default ringtone or the tone that they have set in their device.
Yes, and so well, there are different aspects. If you mean the tone from SMSs or calls, every call and every message will come from a predefined number, which you can save on your phone or on your contacts. And today's devices allow you to set a specific tone for certain contacts. So that's something that you can already do today. But when push notifications will be out, probably the first version will come with a predefined tone, I would say, and then we'll gradually introduce the ability to customize it. So yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mario and Abel. Also, I just want to let our viewers know that we have huge plans for our alerting product, as you can see. And you will hear about it more when we go over the upcoming features towards the end of the live stream. So stay tuned. We are now going to look at one feature that was released in D4H Operations Center, where our users can create really nice visualizations of color grids. This feature is available in every template of your account when you select option selection field type. Let's take a look at this feature in action. Let me go ahead and quickly share my screen.
Yeah, and probably I should have given a little bit of an introduction of what we've, the achievement that has been the first half of the year. Sorry, GP, before you proceed. As you will see also in this live stream, the first half of the year, the first two quarters have been quite significant for the product team. As you saw, we released a new product, but as you will see, we have released a lot of other very significant features that have been in the make for quite some time. So it's not that just they've been overnight successes. So those have been really like the effort of multiple months, iterations, feedback cycles to just get out. Most notably, we'll see also the Team Manager API v3 which we will talk towards the end of the stream. And so it has been a fantastic first half of the year, and I want to thank the entire D4H product team for the great effort, and but also in general the entire D4H team for supporting us throughout this first half of the year, which has been quite challenging, but really productive, and we are super happy of the outcome, really. So anyway, GP, please let's see and get started and see what we have new in Operations Center.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mario. So everyone, right now I am sharing a status board in my account called Buildings. As you can see, the status board looks pretty plain. If I need to make changes, all I have to do, go to the admin area of the account, and I'm going to open up my Buildings status board. And if I scroll down on this page, I have a field called Status. And I have selected option selection as the field type. And I have also created 3 types of options. Right next to each option selection, there's a little box where I can select a color. So for the first option selection, I'm going to use red. And for the second one, I'm going to use amber. And for all the open buildings I have in the account, I am going to go ahead and select green. Once I have added all my colors to the selection options, I'm going to go ahead and click into Save. You will now see when I go to my channel, the status board gives better visualization for you and for your team. As you can see, these options can be added to your personal template, your roles template, your task boards, and also for your forms as well. So simply make sure that you have selected the option selection as the field type, and go across the option selection that you have added to set the color for each and every selection that you have created. This was created by Carl, who was not able to make it today to the live stream, but I'm sure he would have been very happy if he could make it today. Mario, did we have any difficulties when we were developing this feature? Anything that you would like to highlight?
So in reality, this it's one of those features that was relatively simple to implement, but has such a big impact on the way our customers use the software. Color coding things is so important in the when you manage incidents. and it's visually it really helps make sense of the situation. The to me the main challenge here was to make sure that this was super easy to use, because we could have done this in many different ways, but as you can see, it's super straightforward. You don't need to read any manual to just go and change the color and apply the color that you want. So that again, it required some thoughts, and we tried a few UI arrangements until we settled down with what you see now today. And also, yeah, there are those little details that people don't realize, but they still are there, and we have to face, and we have to resolve those. For example, you can still have a row status color when on the background, let's say, of those option selections, color option selections. And sometimes that color in the background can hide what you have selected in the options, right? Because it might be exactly the same color. For example, on that red on the middle row, it might be possible that that row is highlighted in red, right? Because for some reason, for whatever custom condition you have set, and that red would mix up a little bit with the status color, right? So those are little details. We solved that with some UI tricks, and you will see, actually, you will be able to clearly see the difference still between the option color and the background color. And I love mentioning these little details, because again, people think, oh, it's just you color something, but again, there is still some iteration and some study behind it. Which again, you add up all these little things, and you get the uncomplicated software that you see today.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mario. Next up, let's take a look at another feature that we introduced in D4H. In the past, the information that was imported from task boards in collections was editable. But with the introduction of this feature, the account admin can now define which fields to be read only to ensure important information is not altered once it has been imported to the incident. Let's go ahead and take a look and see how you can get this feature set up. So simply, I would need to open a task board in my account. Here, I am using a task board template that was created by Billy, who is our emergency management solution specialist. This template is available for you to download through our help center, and he also took the time to create a comprehensive list of checklists that you can import directly to your collections. We will post the direct link of this extension pack in the chat for you to download shortly. So, when you're on the taskboard template, scroll down on this page and simply enable the lock changes option. And then we would need to define which fields to be restricted. In this example, I am going to be using the role field that I've created. I'm going to click into the three dots on the right hand side and mark this as a lock field. And then I'm going to save the changes in my templates. Then I'm going to head over to the collections in my taskboard, and all of these checklists that you see on my screen, they were created by Billy, and you can simply download and import these checklists directly to your accounts via our extension packs. In this example, I'm going to use the information technology failure, which is my first checklist. I'm going to go into it, and what I'm going to do, I am going to assign the first two tasks to the emergency management coordinator. And then I'm going to go to my channel, which is on over here. I'm going to go into my task board, and then I'm going to import the checklist directly from my collections. I'm going to select the first checklist, which is the information technology failure, and I'm going to click into import. System will take a few seconds to import the checklist to your live incident. And if I double click into the checklist, I'm able to see all my tasks. And if I go to any of these tasks, I will now be able to see that I have certain fields that have been marked as restricted. That means I simply cannot change these fields because they were predefined as locked fields in the admin area. This is one of the great features that you can use because when you start building your checklist, you may need to add additional information to your checklist. This could be reference to your internal documentation or could be any other information that you do not want the team members to change when you have already imported that data or those fields to your incident. This is a fantastic feature. If you haven't tried it, please go ahead and try it out. And it's, as you can see, it's very straightforward to set it up in your account. Mario, anything to highlight on this feature?
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify how what happens when you click when you mark something as locked. If you can go back on the admin area, GP, and you go to the template for this. So essentially, the moment you mark a task board as lock changes at the top, that means that there are three things that automatically, once you select that checklist, that checkbox, you won't be able to change once items are imported in from collections into an incident. You won't be able to change the main label, the name, the main field, essentially the first field, which we call name, but you can rename really. You won't be able to change the arrangements, the arrangement of items in the list, and you cannot move items outside of the list, and you cannot remove items. So it means that pretty much that list is locked the moment you select this checkbox. Of course, on top of that, you can add, you can lock other fields, more fields, as GP has already shown you. Sometimes, though, it might happen that plan changes, so you might need to add more items, right? To, let's say, to the board. What you can do is essentially adding a new task list, and you're still allowed to add new task lists, and within that new task list, you will be able to do whatever you want. So you still have freedom to add new items if required. So you still have this flexibility if required.
Super, super. What we'll do, let's jump into another feature that we have. And to be honest, this is my favorite feature in the operations center that we launched in the last quarter. So what this feature does is that it primarily focused on giving more flexibility and customizations to view data added to your status board and task boards. Earlier, the system had very limited options to filter and view data. But with the introduction of this feature, the admin can now create multiple custom views, set a default view, and even customize these further by adding groups or even filter based on certain fields in your account. Let's go ahead and take a look at how we can configure a template to experience the power of this feature. To demonstrate this feature, I'm going to be using a status board called hospitals. As you can see, this is the look and feel of my status board at the moment. And if I go to the dashboard of the account, and this is how the dashboard view of my hospital's status board looks like. If I go into the admin area of this status board, and let's start upgrading the look and feel of this status board. So I'm going to go into the hospital status board, and if I scroll down on this page, I'll come to a section called List View Settings. From here, I'm going to create a custom view. Just give it a quick name. And from the next step, I'm going to select what type of fields that I would like to see on the main view. So I'm going to select pretty much all the fields I have on my status board. And I'm also going to select that my data is going to be grouped based on the diversion status field I have in the template. If I need, I can sort the data based on the date created versus the date modified as well. Once you have added your changes to your view, simply go ahead and click into save and confirm the save changes from the bottom. That will ensure all the changes are going to get captured to your live incidents. After that, I'm going to go to my live incident. As you can see, this is my current look. And if I click into the filters option over here, I can see the custom view that I created. The moment I click into it, I will be seeing additional columns because we selected those at the in the template of the account, and also we grouped the data based on the diversion status of the status board entry. If you are looking to further streamline this, what you can do, you can go back to the admin area. You can set a default view. So right now it's picking up all the items in my account, which is the status board in my account. I can open up the advanced options, and I am going to be changing the look and feel of my dashboard. Before I make any change, I just want to quickly show you how it appears right now. This is how it is shown at the moment. It gives me the total capacity I have in all the hospitals versus total occupied and the remaining beds in all the hospitals that I have added to the hospital status board. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to the admin area, and I'm going to add all items as one of the views. I'm also going to add the custom view that I created, and then I'm going to click into save. You will notice that the system will change your dashboard stats or the view based on the dashboard views you have selected. So the first one over here, it displays all the status board entries in my status board called hospitals, and towards the bottom it groups all the status board entries based on the diversion status. And I have the option to simply click into the heading to go to the status board to see how it appears. Again, I've seen a lot of customers using this feature for their status boards and task boards to make wonders. And if you need any help with customizing these dashboard stats or even module headers for that matter, please drop us a note to help at d4h.com. We can get your account set up so that it looks fabulous as mine. Um, Again, this feature was developed by Carl, who couldn't make it, but we will see whether Mario can give us some insights about this feature for us.
Yeah. So I love this feature because it looks so simple from the customer side. As you saw, GP was configuring a new view very easily. You would add new different columns. You select a group by property. You select a sort by property, and that's it for the view. And then once you have a view, you can easily add it on the dashboard, and it will look just fantastic. If there's a group by property, it will also show you some interesting stats about the group. Namely, at the moment, it only shows the count of the items in that group. So it will automatically give you some insights with literally no efforts from the customer, from whoever is configuring this. So and it's interesting. This feature is interesting because we started from something very big. We said, "Oh, we want to add some stats to the dashboard. We want to make this available to customers." But then this could have easily escalated to something huge that could have been complex to configure, complex from the technical side, and of course, probably more powerful, much more powerful than what you see today. But the truth is that probably 90% of customers will be already happy with with this minimal and super simple and powerful way to add these new stats to their dashboard. So that's actually what I love about this is the simplicity and at the same time how powerful it is, even if it feels simple. Of course, we'll be adding more stuff later, more complex stats, for example, and we'll also probably will do an overhaul of the dashboard itself to make it even more powerful. But that's something that will come later, and I don't want to anticipate anything more.
And I think I would add that that gets kind of adjusted based on the feedback. I think it's important when we launch a new feature that we make sure it's easy, intuitive, and everyone can get going with it. And then as real life use comes in, then we will adjust, improve, simplify, and so on. Because we have like some experts internally. Like I myself am search and rescue. Billy has experience in emergency management as well. Robin is with the Coast Guard and everything. So we have internal experience, and often there's going to be some early feedback from particular customers that have been pushing it directly, but none of that is set in stone. We'll always take the feedback that comes in and adjust accordingly.
Fantastic. We have a question there. So, can custom views from Sharon Fernando? Can the custom views be combined with the newly introduced feature for getting counts from a field? Well, essentially, what you're doing if you select if you use that field as the group by field, you will essentially get a count of how many items there are with that particular field. Let's say. So yes, that's how easy it is. You just group a view by that particular field, and you will automatically get a count. Yeah. Yeah. So GP, this is question probably for you.
Absolutely, I can take that one. So, Mike, so right now what I've done is I have added some expressions to bring up these stats. These are not available in your account at the moment, but if you can drop us an email or I can connect with you to set this up. So, pretty much, I'm just going to quickly show you the expressions that I've set up. So, it might not look very fancy, but what I've done is I have added some dashboard stats in the template side of the account so that the system pulls data, specific data, when I am looking at the dashboard. So for the total capacity, I am adding all the entries in my account under the capacity ICU beds. So pretty much it's doing a summation of all of these entries, and also it's doing a summation of all the occupied beds, and then it's doing a subtraction from the capacity, and then it displays the remaining beds on my screen. Similarly, I have also added colors, which is green, amber, and also red based on certain conditions. Again, these are completely customizable, and we can help you with these expressions at any point in time.
So stats that you see on the dashboard are live, but the data that you see on the rows, actually on the hospital capacity, though that is entered by whoever is managing that row essentially. So that depends really on your workflow. At the moment, what you could do is give access to the manager of that hospital, and that would keep that capacity in up to date, in sync with the real number. In the future, we have a feature there that is really almost ready to be implemented, which is the ability to share an item by a private link, let's call it. So what you would do is select the item, for example, a specific hospital, and you would send a link of that hospital to the hospital manager. So the hospital manager, even without access to the system, will be able to update the capacity simply with a few clicks. So all these collaboration features will make a big difference, like in the way our users use our operation center. So yeah, that will be available pretty soon.
Nice one. You have a question on this?
Okay, so Thomas is asking if there will be the ability to. This is another question. Yeah. Okay. If to have a status color essentially for the situation. Oh, that is interesting now. Well, at the moment, yeah, it is not possible, but please, Thomas, if you want to file a feature request for these, send us an email at help@d4h.com, and we'll add a +1 on our ticketing system for this feature, so for consideration.
Super. I think Tom had another question for us, Mario. Where did that go?
Waiting for it. Linking a form to the situation would allow easier matching of what is on the situation page and can save a lot of time. Yeah, correct. And at the moment, I think so. I'm not sure because this might be implemented already. I don't know, Abel, if you remember, if we can link something to the forms to the situation.
I think we can link them as tables. I think this was part of another question, right? Where we could, if I remember seeing the question correctly in the chat. Yeah. So we can currently, on the situation template, link a table to other modules and map the fields and just have the data being loaded without typing, as you were saying. I believe there is a refresh button on the top right where you can press and it will fill up the data.
Okay, so this is a longer question then. Any discussion about doing something similar when when form essentially? Okay. Okay, we link a form to the situation. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, probably at the moment this is not possible. Yeah, you're right. Please, file. Contact us at help@d4h.com. We'll actually file a new ticket for this because it's we already have all the infrastructure in place because you can already import status boards and forms. So it shouldn't be too complex to just do the same with forms actually, status boards and tasks actually. So it shouldn't be too complex to do it with forms as well. So yeah, thanks for the suggestion. Yeah. Possible public survey feature. So yes, this is well, you can already do it public if you mean from people actually from the public itself. I think if that's what you mean. Of course, at the moment you need to have a user account to if you want to do a survey, you can create a status board called. For example, building survey or building damages, but you need a user account. So a feature that is coming with a major project that it is already in the making, so we're already working on it, is the ability to have public submission of forms or status boards. So there would be a link that everyone without an account would be able to click on, and they would see they would be able to create and submit a new form. And that could be, for example, the form for a survey that you have prepared and customized on the back end. So this is not yet possible to allow this. You can do it if you have a user account. You cannot do it yet if you don't, but soon this will come. So this is a very popular request, actually. So yeah, this is in the making. Is it possible on the dashboard if the status headers can be of different shade to make each widget easier to see? That is a good point, because at the moment we have the ability to choose a default color for a status board. So technically we could use that status color for that color as a background or for the header. So we'll take that on. Again, we have to see how that looks in practice. I'm not a fan of adding too many different colors actually on a given screen, because if you go beyond a certain number of colors, you can have the opposite effect of actually complicating the view instead of making it easier to read. So yeah, we'll experiment with that and see what we can do. Again, please, Marie, submit a feature request at help@d4h.com, and we'll actually take that on and we'll triage it. Thanks. Thank you, TJ.
Super. We are getting great questions from the viewers, and I love the enthusiasm. Cool.
Great.
What we are going to do, let's jump into one of the features that we launched in our team manager product. So this is an amazing feature if you haven't tried it already. So this is actually sitting in our team manager. So those who have not if you don't have team manager product with us yet, you can drop us a request to sales@d4h.com to get a demo, or we are always happy to connect and give you more details. What we did here was that we revamped the entire equipment inspection process by introducing a simple pass and fail options. With this feature, you can also easily create a repair while conducting the inspection. You can also change the item status, add notes to each inspection step and to the inspection. And lastly, you can save and resume the inspection later on as well. Let's take a look at how we can go about this new inspection steps feature. A couple of things to keep you updated before we get started. If you're an existing customer, ensure this feature is enabled in your account. If you're part of a D4H organization account, you would need to connect with your organization's account admin, who can enable this feature for you. But if you only have a standalone team account with us, it can be enabled by your D4H account admin. Lastly, if you are a brand new customer, most likely you have this feature already enabled. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get my screen on yours. Okay, perfect. It's already on. And as you can see, this is my inspections current look and feel. I have the inspection steps created, and it lists all the items that needs to be inspected along with the different statuses. Let's go ahead and enable the inspection steps feature in this account. For that, I would need to click on the top right hand corner where the profile icon is, then click into team settings. From here, let's go to the equipment section and click into equipment settings. Inspection steps will be located as the second menu or the second option on the main page. And moment I click into enable, it's going to ask me to confirm. You can either type in the word confirm or copy paste the word from here and enable inspection steps. Go to the bottom of the screen and make sure you save the changes as well. Once that is done, system is going to give you a confirmation saying equipment module settings have been saved. What we'll do, let's go ahead and open up the inspections that we have created in the account. I'm going to go to inspections here and click into the fire extinguisher inspection that I have. Earlier, you saw that all the inspection steps were given as a breakdown saying step 1, step 2, step 3. Instead, now all the inspection steps are now residing inside the description field. For that, go to the update details over on the top right hand corner, and you can now create your inspection steps. In this example, what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy each and every inspection step and I'm going to paste it onto the text box here. Okay, got the second step as well. And let's take this one. And one last one. And paste it here. Done. The last step that we had in the inspection, I'm going to leave it in the description box. And I'm not going to change any settings that I have in the inspection. But I'm going to go to the bottom of the screen and click into save changes. This will save the inspection steps that I added to my inspection. You will also notice that we have extra fields or filters on my screen compared to the previous screen. So this first field, what this will do, you can scan your barcode, your QR code, even the NFC tag of the equipment. Because if you have a long list of equipment to be inspected, most likely it's very difficult for you to find them. But with the scanning option, you can find them easily and conduct your inspection. Right next to that, we have a search option. You can enter the item reference number or the name to easily get the item that you're looking to inspect. And on the far right hand corner, you can also filter your items based on the locations that you have created in the account. Let's go ahead and conduct an inspection for the item number 2. For that, I need to click into inspect now. Moment I click into it, system will display all the inspection steps that were created in the account. I have the option to pass every inspection step or fail as we go. If the inspection step is not relevant, you can mark it as not applicable. Any change you make will be updated or will be saved automatically for you. You also have the option to add a note to each and every inspection step. You can also send the item for a repair if you would like to. And towards the very bottom, you have advanced options. If I expand that option, it gives me an option to add a note to the entire inspection, and I also can send this item to a repair. If I need to change the item status, I can directly do that from this option, and these options will change based on the statuses that you have created in the account. Finally, I have options to upload attachments. These could be screenshots or even pictures or any reports that you would like to add. And if I need to change the completion date, I can change the completion date as well. At the very bottom, you will see an option called Save Later. This is, let's say, if you need to abandon the inspection in the middle of it, you can simply save for later. And you can always come back to it and click into Continue Inspection and start from where you left off. A couple of other things to highlight here. If you do mark a single inspection step or even more inspection step as failed, the system will not let you pass the inspection. And moment you click into fail, the due date will remain the same. However, when you go to the previous results, you can still see the inspection was marked as failed. The only way for you to pass an inspection is by going into the inspection step and marking each and every step as passed, or if there's an inspection step that is not relevant to your inspection, you can mark it as NA. Then only the system will give you the option to pass the inspection. And moment you do that, system gives you confirmation. And when you go to the previous results, you will be able to see the most recent inspection that you just carried out. This feature was developed by Álvaro, who is on the live stream with us, and I'm sure he's happy to give you any problems that he came across, because we got a lot of feedback from the customers, and this feature was even on our beta testing as well. Anything to highlight, Álvaro, here?
Yeah, this was quite challenging to develop actually, because we had to still maintain the previous inspections that we had. We had to give a lot of thought to that so as to not disturb the current team workflow and keep the previous results everywhere. I'm very happy to have released this and hope to incorporate whatever feedback we get. We already have some feature requests there, like being able to upload an attachment per each step. That will be very useful, especially on the mobile applications. That will be great. And yeah, happy to address any feedback or whatever report we get.
Yeah. And we can also say, Álvaro, I think without shame, that this has received so many iterations that we couldn't even count to just make it perfect and simple and bug-free for customers. And yeah, you highlighted one of the issues that was there, which was making sure that all the inspections would still be compatible with the new feature. But yeah, this has been in the making, and again, has been refined and refined. One thing, for example, that we added last minute, right, was the ability to attach repairs to.
Yes, especially attaching past repairs already. That was a last-minute introduction. If we can get a bit technical, it also introduces a lot of new cool stuff for us to work and implement new features with in the future of Team Manager.
Yeah, absolutely. So overall, like a great feature, and as you said, it has introduced also a lot of new stuff on the background that users cannot see. And yeah, that's a good question, Paul. Yes, it works on the app. Since the day we released it, the new inspection steps work on the app, and we actually were really keen to make this a mobile-first experience, because people usually prefer the app, right, when they're expecting some equipment item rather than bringing a laptop around. So yeah, this works on the app, and So Jamie has a question. If something is out of service and passes the inspection, it doesn't automatically take it back into service. You have to click advanced options. Is there a plan to change this so it prompts you? Probably.
Yeah, as far as I know, I don't think we have a feature request for this, but yeah, we could have a prompt whenever we are passing an inspection and the item is not operational to mark it as operational and save some clicks there.
So apparently we should have already something in our ticketing system, at least.
Yeah, I think we do. I remember seeing it. GP can confirm because he handles a lot of those, but I believe I've seen it.
All right, we'll take a look.
That's correct.
All right, API v3. So I'll take this on, GP. Don't know if we've already sent the newsletter for this, GP. Or no?
It'll be going out in the next week, Mario. Yeah.
Okay. So this is probably the first time you will hear this from me. But we introduced this new version of the Team Manager API, which we labeled as version 3. Is a huge step ahead from the previous version, which was version 2. Again, this has been in the making for quite some time. We tested it internally. We have already started using internally for some services, some of our services. And finally, now we are releasing it to the public so everyone can use it. So what are the advantages? My favorite advantage, well, probably the most important one, is that API v3, this new version of the API, just sets the background for implementing new features, for features that were not possible with the old version of the API, which if we wanted to implement these new features, we would have had to make so many changes that it was simply not worth it. I mean, it would have been essentially another version of the API, and that's what we've done here, essentially. One of these new features is the introduction of the granular permissions, so the ability to set more granular permissions for things like who can update certain things, who can delete certain things, and it will be very granular. And once we decommission API v2, which will happen in April next year, we will be able essentially to roll out this new permissioning system to everyone. And v3 will come with many more things as we grow. Of course, there are tons of other advantages. The API, the interface is more coherent, it's more performance based on like shiny new technology, which makes us development faster, safer, and it has really been a revolution for us introducing this new API, and I believe that this is going to be a revolution for our customers as well. If you are a user of API version 2, make sure that you are ready to migrate before we decommission the old version of the API. If you have queries, if you find difficulties, contact us, because we really want to make sure that everyone has migrated before we shut down the old version. So we'll make sure that this is as painless as possible, even though I understand that this it might not be something that people might particularly enjoy to migrate API, but believe me that this is gonna be really worth in the long term, because as I said, it will allow you to have so many new features, not just in the API, but in Team Manager in general as a platform.
I would
Thierry.
add that any new feature added to the API will be exclusively added to v3. Nothing else will be added to v2, since as Mario just mentioned, it will be decommissioned next year. I noticed in the first questions, Jeremiah asked about some things about it, yeah, which is actually that one there. So things like tags have been discussed, and they were requested for v2 a while ago. And the main reason it wasn't done for v2 is that because we did not want to add anything else to v2, because v3 was on the horizon. So I can say that tags are coming. Personal involved, I think most likely. We're kind of going in terms of how much request there is for something. So the more people need something, the more likely it's going to be high up the list. So tags have seen a lot more requests than persons involved.
Yeah.
Have we reached feature parity with v2 yet?
So Not yet. So not everything from V2 is available in V3 at the moment yet, but we are covering definitely the most used API. But in the following months, the months that after the release, essentially we will be adding a lot of new APIs, a lot of new endpoints. And the objective is actually to have even more coverage than what V2 has at the moment. So, because V2, let's not forget that the main target of V2 was created in reality to provide data to our mobile apps. And so for that, it carries a lot of limitations, and it also, and that the main reasons why we decided to make a proper public API, so that it can be for someone to use in a stable way, in a consistent way. Is that we had this technical debt that V2 in reality was created for with our mobile apps in mind, while we want to create something much more generic. This is very complex. People many times don't appreciate what goes into creating a public API. It's something that essentially, once you create, it's very difficult to change, to make sure that existing users don't existing applications are not broken, let's say, by introducing these changes. So a lot of thought goes into making sure that the API is consistent and it is ready to introduce changes that will not break existing applications. Abel has worked on the API for Operations Center, which we released at the start of the year, or was already last year. I can't remember, but we released not long ago. And it can probably tell us, what difficulties there are there in, creating a new API and making sure that it's consistent.
Yeah, so I will take one of the things you mentioned, which is these APIs. I mean, the incident management one and this new one, they are built to be more resilient to changes. So they are built for customers to use. And what we are asking you now to upgrade is something that we don't want to do, or at least try to avoid in the future, which is not break your existing integrations by new APIs. So like Mario said, there was a lot of thought and time spent making sure that these APIs are contain the important information in a way that is very resilient to change in the future.
I can take this one. Yes, we are able. You're able to pull duties from our API v3. It's already there. I don't know about what filters can be used, but it can be pulled. For further information, please visit the docs. I think they will be an email later this week, GP said. So just check the documentation for that.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone. We have a couple of more slides to go over. I think the next slide is definitely going to be the most, one of the most anticipated slides. And let's go over some of the features that are going to be coming up, as well as some of the work that we've been doing behind the scenes. Thierry, please take it away.
Yeah, I'll be brief because a lot of that is kind of the back end that people don't necessarily, it's not as visual as all the shiny new features. But I think it's extremely important though, because it's what ensures reliability and performance and all of that. So there's been a lot of work on that. Really, it's continuous, but the last year in particular, there's been additional focus on that. The first thing I think worth mentioning, just the cat is in the truth though, is the Team Manager and Operations Center are kind of the two primary technical stacks that we have. And so pretty often there might be differences in how one or the other works. And that's reflected a little bit in the operations. So we had some changes that were introduced to Operations Center first that are percolating down to Team Manager. One thing that we mentioned in a previous live stream, I believe, was the migration to S3 for all the documents. So that's everything that you upload, the attachments, and that you add to incidents in Operations Center, or that you add to anything in Team Manager. And that change has enabled faster download, and also I think something that was huge is the size of the uploads. Previously, we had, I think the max size for a file was 50 megabytes. Now I think it's 1 gig, and we'll probably look to increasing it further. So that's huge, because now you can upload videos or archives that include a lot more stuff at the same time. And another change that this brought is the ability to keep past revisions of files. So if you upload a PDF of, say, your procedures for certain incidents, in the past, if you upload a new version of the PDF, you had to either just upload a different file completely, different document, or you would replace the past one, so you didn't necessarily track the changes. Now it's an optional feature in some of the more advanced subscriptions, so you'll have to talk to sales about that. But basically, you can upload a whole new revision, and you can, while keeping the past one, so you can go back in time and see what was the procedure at a certain time. So you can really keep that history. Another thing that happened in the background was for Team Manager in particular. Usage has increased a lot over time. It was kind of our first project, and in the beginning, a big team would have like 200, 100 members and maybe 2,000 pieces of gear. Now this is a small team nowadays. We have teams with hundreds of members and several, I think you can say tens of thousands of items, pieces of equipment. Some are also creating dozens, if not hundreds, of incidents a day in some cases, because they track kind of smaller incidents. So this has led to kind of a change in the usage pattern of the platform. So we had to improve our infrastructure to keep up with that. This has led at sometimes some people have noticed some slowdowns, which we definitely don't want any of you to have to wait on a page load. So we've increased the capacity of the infrastructure, and we're working also in the background to make it more easy to scale up if there's peak usage. An example of that would be, for example, a hurricane, where a large slice of the U.S. East Coast might be affected by hurricanes. You have hundreds of towns where each of their AOCs are activated with dozens or even hundreds of, depending on the size, of users at the same time. And we want to make sure that this can be managed without the slowdown. So this is the kind of work we do in the background to make sure that we can handle that. So yeah, this is hidden, but this is big. For the API, we had. So I'm going kind of fast because we're short on time now. But for the API, we had some reports of users hitting certain, especially on the Team Manager API, hitting some 502s or 504s in particular. These are some types of error codes. And basically, this happened when we were releasing a new version, and these people were polling at a very short interval, like every 5 seconds or even less. They could hit a series of those, and this was disrupting their efforts. Effectively, this was because there was a very short time with a new release of downtime where the infrastructure was switching over. So we've kind of overhauled that to make sure that there was no downtime at all, even if it was too quick for users using the web interface to notice. API users did notice, and this was giving them trouble. So right now, this should no longer happen on Operations Center or the V3 API. On the Team Manager web app and the V2 API, these changes are expected to go out this month. So this should no longer be the case there as well. And then to wrap up that bit real quick, also lots of effort on the observability and instrumentation. So that means making sure we have metrics when we see something slows down, something starts giving more errors and stuff like that. This lets us find issues before the users notice. So we can see that a metric for like the time that it takes for an inspection to be rebuilt. That was something that Álvaro and the team manager team were working on this week. We've noticed in the logs that some inspections were taking too long to rebuild, and so we've been trying to figure out exactly the circumstances on that. And yeah, so we can address any concern before you hit into them. With that said, when you do get an issue, it gives us more context when you do report it, because sometimes it happens in a very specific situation, and so kind of that feedback of what you were trying to do, what you did before, if you hit that, can also give us more information to track down the cause and fix it quickly. And finally, status pages. These have been on for I think a couple of years now, but it's worth bringing up. These pages tell us if there is an outage, which hopefully is almost never, if not never. And you can sign up to notifications as well, especially for scheduled outages. If we might need to conduct some maintenance, that way you will have a heads up. And for example, if you're planning an exercise, then you can be aware of that and just plan the exercise on a different day than a scheduled maintenance window. That was a quick wrap up, but that's about what I want to bring up. Feel free if you have any questions.
I think we can say, Thierry, right, that observability is something that you can never have enough of, right?
That's right, yeah.
Something that it will probably be a project that will go on as forever, because especially as we implement new stuff and we add new products, we'll have to make sure to add more observability in those new areas. But it means we also have to add more observability in the areas that we already have, and that is gold essentially. And the more we have, the better. So.
Yeah, especially over time, it's really helpful because we can see that over time the system gets faster. And if we release a new feature and all of a sudden we notice that our stats compared to the previous time period get slower, we know that there was something that needs to be addressed. So over a long period of time, the trends are super helpful as well. So yeah, this is continuous, and we just add more.
Fantastic. Right, so let's see, to wrap this up, what's coming soon in terms of features, what the product team has in the works for you. Well, first of all, alerting. I already mentioned some of the new things that will be coming up soon, but in the really immediate future, we'll see templates, so the ability to have predefined messages to send, and push notifications, mobile push notification on Android, iOS. We'll also have critical notifications on iOS. With the notifications inbox. So we have a lot coming up in alerting in the next few months. So stay tuned. This is an area that you will see evolving pretty fast, because we understand that this is something that our users, we've already had a huge demand for alerting. Like we cannot hide this. That has been a huge success so far, and so we are just want to keep momentum, we keep going. We are receiving extremely good feedback, and so we are really poised to make sure that this is a fantastic experience for the customer. And so you will see a lot happening in alerting in the next few months. Operation Center, we have an entirely new control room. Users of our control room know what I'm talking about. Sometimes, especially when you have to manage a lot of incidents, there could be some performance slowdown, and this is mainly because when we created the control room, we had a certain number of incidents in mind that someone can open during the day. But now that assumption has been completely reconsidered, because we have customers nowadays that go well beyond that limit that we had in mind. And so we want to make sure that everyone is really has the best experience. So we are overhauling the control room, and this will also means a whole new experience in general for the operation center users. So you will soon see a completely new UI for operation center, and this is already on the making. It will introduce many more features, not just the new control room will be much bigger than that. New UI, we are upgrading the tech stack on the back and on the front end. We are introducing new features as the ability to submit forms from public links. So stay tuned. A lot of exciting things are happening on that side. Then on Team Manager, we have bulk actions. Finally, I don't want to anticipate this, because this is still in the making. We are still refining it, but you will soon have the ability to select multiple items and then do something with them. Right now, even if you want to delete something, you have to do it one by one. But you can imagine the improvement in productivity that you can have, by just selecting a group of items and just do something with it all at once. And of
And
course,
I think the bulk action is going to be something that will roll out kind of gradually. It will happen in one particular page, and then once kind of that base structure is there, we'll gradually add it into other places to replace the basic tables that don't allow that.
yeah, so it will
Yeah,
be
exactly.
something that gradual. Yeah, Álvaro is working on this at the moment, but we will start with some actions in some specific pages, and then, especially based on the feedback that we receive, we'll expand this to other pages. And also, to finish, as I already mentioned, more API v3 endpoints and more features in API v3. This is something that you will see really gradually happening in the coming months. So lots there in the making that will keep us busy, certainly for the next few months. But yeah, stay tuned, and there are some interesting things coming up. So yeah. I think that the excitement is high in the product team. I hope that excitement is passed also onto our users.
Fantastic, team. I think that's a wrap. But before we say goodbye to the viewers, I just want to let you all know that our emergency management solution specialist, Billy, he'll be doing a live stream on August 15th, focusing on managing election related civil unrest with D4H. Please use the link in the comments to sign up for the live stream. And once again, thank you all again for joining the live stream, and we will see you soon on another one. Bye for now.